Members, I'll be brief except to say that in order to grow jobs and grow a future for this country, you have to invest. You have to invest in the private sector. During the pandemic, that was very difficult. And in fact, it took the people of the United States to borrow from the future in order to save our states, major industries, individual businesses, school systems, universities, hospitals. Just look, yeah? And if you go back for 25 years and look at the amount of debt we are carrying now as a percent of GDP, guess which president is the first one to actually bend that curve? Joe Biden. We did that in the last Congress. We now have the highest level of employment and jobs ever. All right, now, if you look at federal spending, it's about 1/5. It's about 1/5 of the GDP, if you look at the total wealth of the country. My big problem over the years is that we outsource so much production. This started in the mid-90s, okay? I fought against it with every inch of my fiber, and I was not successful. 12 votes would have made a difference. But what's been happening now is that we've been reshoring. We see an example of that in almost every state, and we are beginning to reinvest in the good old USA. And it's sad that we had to bring chip production back from Shanghai. We outsourced so much. We literally outsourced our wealth. So I think we have a responsibility in the government as representative of the people to try to plug the dike where we can and continue the job growth and continue the investment so that the private sector can flourish. And just look at what's happening across the country. Did I ever think that I would see our painstaking efforts to rebuild the steel industry? I've now seen its rebirth in our country. Did I ever think we'd have a president and a majority here that would try to bring back chip production so we could have an automotive industry flourish in this country? Did I ever think I would represent the most important domestic product, a Wrangler, that's produced by Jeep Stellantis, a company that almost fell to its knees 25 years, 30 years ago? No, I didn't think it would survive, but it has because of the genius of the American people. So we have to do our job too, but if you look at the statistics, the level of growth in this economy is historic, and that's because we had the right balance. So my hope is that if you ever want a longer lecture, I'm happy to give one, but this is a rare moment in American history when we are seeing growth in industries that we thought we had lost. So this appropriation bill this year is extremely important for us not to upset the apple cart and to do anything like almost happened with that default mess that we were into a few weeks ago. That was very destructive because it meant the public sector wasn't responsible as the private sector was trying to keep growing. And we were able, because of the misbehavior of the banks, all right, certain decisions were made about that I didn't agree with, but we were able to hold it together. We were able to get through the default crisis to give confidence to the markets. So I just say that I would disagree with the gentleman's view of how you actually close the gap of the debt that you do owe, and I know one thing from my own service. You have to grow the private economy, and we are doing that. I yield back.
Well done.